Hi, Aquarius North Node. Welcome to your North Node reading. I've been marking them as relevant starting in June, but this is July 1st. So, I usually read the bottom of the deck cards, so that will always be the energy that's moving from your past into your present and through into the future. The last North Node series I did was, I think, like 6 months ago, so it's probably going to be, this energy is valid for until the next time I do a reading. Okay, so whenever you see this, I will mark it July, but whenever you come across this, it's valid until I do another reading for the North Nodes. Okay, so my name is Melissa. Welcome. Thank you for being here. And if you would take time to go ahead and hit the subscribe button if you like what I have to say, what I'm doing here, fantastic. Like, share, send me a little note. My email will be in the description box, along with anything that you need to know for my readings about the North Node. I've listed some books down there if you want to explore that. But essentially, the North Node is kind of your why, all right? And so it's just something I'm very, very interested in. And I have noted that, there's not a lot of readers doing readings on the North Node. So I thought I would try it. Okay, so what I've been doing is pulling oracle cards for the beginning, looking at kind of just some messages for overall, and then I will move into reading the tarot cards, okay? So for the Wild Unknown Archetypes cards, or the archetypal energy that is surrounding you right now, you pulled Kairos. Look at that card. Okay. With the bottom of the deck card, the Mystic. So very, very interesting. And it's very interesting also in relationship to the other oracle cards that came out. So Kairos, I'll read out of the book just some basic concepts here. When you're in light or in alignment, ease in decisions and action, and when dark, fighting against time. So it's kind of like there is this understanding that time is not linear, right? Past, present, future, it's all kind of in the now, or the now is based in the divine, and you may be sort of sensing that right now. You may be sort of experiencing things that you're like, well, this is kind of odd that it's happening, right now, and yet it's not odd. It's like, I don't know, I experience that all the time. Something happens, something synchronistic, something symbolic, something that I think about just suddenly like appears before me, or someone else says something about what I'm thinking about, and there's a part of me that's always like astonished, and there's another part of me that's always like, well, yeah, like of course, so I think that's kind of that might be where you are right now. I'll read you a little bit more. We have all had the experience of timelessness, of life beyond the ticking of the clock. It may be felt as time standing still, slow motion, or losing track of time on a walk or in a lovely conversation. This is known as mythic time, and it is the territory of Kairos. This card suggests there is a secondary time continuum that goes beyond any earthly clocks and schedules. Within this non-linear realm, we access divine timing. A single moment ripens with auspiciousness, and our actions change the trajectory of our whole life. Time becomes a living thing that watches over us and tells us precisely when to speak or act. When this card appears, it is all about patience and precision. No clock can guide you. Wait for the rush of inner knowing and not a moment longer. So, you know, we all are connected to the divine, and we are divine creators. We're co-creating. So if you sense something, and or you've been thinking about something, or you've been wondering, contemplating, did I say sensing? And then it kind of shows up, right? Like it just kind of presents itself or doesn't present itself. You can trust that you are in flow. I think that's what this is saying, right? So mythic time and synchronicity. What else? The word evil comes from the root unripe. Consider that everything has a time of ripeness when it becomes a nourishing fruit, sweet to the lips, right? So you don't want to do anything too soon, and you don't want it to wait, and you don't want that luscious, ripe peach or avocado, right? We all have our issues with avocados. Is like seize the moment when it's right, not before and not too late. And you can trust in your sensing with that. Okay, and so the bottom of the deck was the seeker. Keywords, the seeker. The mystic. Keywords, the seeker, the light worker, the dreamer. It may seem that the mystic is inward facing, yet its light beams back to the world with the strength of 1,000 stars. Like any light worker, the mystic must build a relationship with fire. This begins by awakening the inner flame within. When light, remover of darkness, visionary and ageless. When dark, expects results, seeks attention and recognition. So with your North Node in Aquarius, those last two lines, when light and when in dark, when light, remover of darkness, visionary, ageless, that to me reminds me exactly of North Node Aquarius energy. And when dark, expects results, seeks attention and recognition is South Node, like the shadow stuff from the South Node in Leo. Okay, so really kind of pay attention to what's going on, within you, and how your journey has reflected that type of growth, that type of healing and transmutation. I love the imagery of the mystic here, right? I mean, it very much could have been like Phoenix Rising or something, but there's this fire element burning within, the transformation of this, butterfly who had to go into its, cocoon. Oh my God, suddenly so hot. And almost go like very hermit-like within, but also within its own fears, and maybe almost like an understanding that in order to get here, you had to face, maybe it's almost like it was a choice. Okay, but let me read it, and I don't know why I'm saying that. I really don't know why I just said that, but I got so freaking hot. Hot flash, or maybe the fire's there. I don't know. Let me see. Like any light worker, the mystic must build a relationship with fire. This begins by awakening the inner flame within. Right. Okay. The mystic is often misunderstood in our culture, depicted as a wandering or light-hearted daydreamer. Yet, like Shiva, the true mystic plays a critical role in society, remaining fearlessly dedicated to the path of transformation. Yeah, like fearlessly dedicated to the path of transformation. So that must be, a choice. And of course, it's archetypal energy. Maybe you haven't always been dedicated to this. Maybe you have. But at some point, and it's the energy that's one who, it's like you are kind of choosing this uh, space that you're in. In order to save the earth from darkness, Shiva swallows the poison of the world and holds it in his throat, slowly transmuting the liquid into nectar. This is the work of the mystic. They do not fear darkness, but rather sit in the presence of it, harness the potential and latent energy behind it, and embed it with light. They are patient and prudent change makers, seeking growth above all else. Unanswerable questions are the mystic's lifeblood. The mystic revels in mystery, in the great riddle of life, dancing with the forces of light and dark upon its wings, right? A mystic isn't going to judge the darkness. A mystic is going to understand that without the darkness, there is no light. And the tiniest light is immense, right, in the dark. Okay, so let's these up here. A little eye on them. And let's look at your past life, potential past life influences. Okay, so this is very interesting for me. You got the scribe or writer as well as Atlantis. I ended up looking up Atlantis and Lemuria have been coming up a lot lately. Like I just keep seeing or hearing about it, and also Pleiadians, which is that is something I think I really have experienced, and I didn't know what it was, but I'm just not going to get into that. Okay, so when Atlantis came out, I thought, okay, for this reading, I really need to read up a little bit more about the mythology or the potential reality of Atlantis, and why would that kind of come up for Aquarian North Node. So right, we are okay, apologies, let me back up. So a scribe or a writer from a past life. Perhaps you were a scribe or a writer. Maybe you wrote about Atlantis. Maybe these two are related. Maybe they're not. Maybe a lifetime in association with Atlantis and another lifetime in association with being a writer or a scribe is sort of welling up within you, right? So this is kind of self-explanatory, right? Do you feel like writing? Are you writing? Do you love the play with words? Do you feel called to maybe write a blog or poetry, or do you feel like maybe you're a journal? Maybe you like to journal, or you're getting kind of through this transmutation process that you're maybe dealing with. Maybe you're finding yourself journaling a lot as part of your healing. But Atlantis is, there's a potential that if you were influenced or part of this civilization, they were very powerful, technologically advanced civilization that lived in an almost like utopian, idyllic environment. Okay, and so you may be drawn to those ideas, those ideals, the nature, um, uh, um, I think my cat might be outside. Um, uh, the sea or water. It's like you might be drawn to it, and yet you also might feel, I think in the book it says, you could like to be around water, but not like in it, right? And yeah, I very much relate to that. I've had some major phobias with water in my life. So if you notice that you feel kind of, you're drawn to water, you want to be around it, but you have some phobias, that could be a hint to maybe a past life of drowning. But the myth or the story of Atlantis is the civilization was so powerful, and they had this idyllic environment, but they became greedy. And at some point, the gods sunk the island in, like, I guess, a span of a day, either by earthquake or floods or something major happening, in with the earth, a volcano, earthquake, flooding, but it sunk and was just gone. Okay, and so if we kind of look at different issues that we're dealing with now on the global scale, it would make sense if your Aquarius North Node, right, that is something to be concerned about, because you're very much you very much care about community and social responsibility, and more like the world rather than the self. That would be the ego from the Leo South Node. And the bottom of the deck was wisdom. Cute unicorn. So it could be that, like, your experience of that is, it might be bubbling up within you, that you might be feeling maybe a need to write or warn or help people to understand, like, how important it is that we're remembering ourselves in community with the earth, with each other, with the cosmos, because you've experienced this, right? At least in some way, shape, or form. Okay, so it could just be that you lived during the time of, I think it was Plato that wrote this, wrote about Atlantis initially. So maybe you were part of those discussions, or that, maybe even part of writing some of that stuff. So who knows, make this, if it doesn't sound like you, just move on. But if it does, and there's any pieces of it that make sense to you, take that, and whatever doesn't make sense, leave it. So your lifetime in ancient Atlantis is affecting your current situation. You have soul memories of this idyllic civilization that offered every imaginable wonder. There's a longing for the utopia that you unconsciously remember and which you know is possible in this world. Your soul also remembers the tragic ending of Atlantis, and you may have developed phobias. I already said that. The majority of Atlanteans were peace-loving, with the exception of a few political leaders who misused crystal power to the detriment of all. So you may be extra sensitive to issues relating to political corruption in this lifetime. So, I mean, good God. right? Like, how timely. Okay, and so for, let's see, what does wisdom say? TUVW. Wisdom. This card indicates that you have tremendous wisdom and knowledge from prior lifetimes that seek to resurface now. Yeah, I just like with the butterfly and then the time thing, it's I feel this is straight across the board for everyone. It's kind of like the time for the actualization, if you will, or the activation or the crossing of the bridge from the south, our south nodes to our north nodes. Like, why are you here? Do you know? Do you sense it? Do you feel it? Are you being pulled into something else? To me, that is about the activation of our north node calling us loudly, like, come on, right? We need you now. You were created here. You're meant to be here for this time. And I feel like your cards that came out in particular right now are really speaking to that. And it makes sense to me for Aquarius North Node. This card indicates that you have tremendous, okay, we already said that. Even if you've never thought of yourself as particularly wise, this card indicates that you learned important lessons and information that will serve you and others if it's reawakened now. This card can indicate that it's a time for you to return to school or seek additional education of some sort. This may even be a sign that you're changing your career path. Your re-emerging knowledge is guiding you toward work that is more meaningful. This card asks you to believe in yourself and know that you have what it takes to tackle a career related to your true interests and passions. So, there you go. Pretty amazing. All right, so then I asked about, what are the potential life path and purpose careers to explore right now. Interesting. You got flowers. Working with flowers opens your heart and brings blessings to others through your life purpose. Okay. So, if we kind of think back to the Atlanteans, this idyllic situation, maybe you're called to work in environmental work or landscaping, or anything in that field, maybe architectural design, landscape design, it could be anything. Being a florist, having your own nursery, right? I used to be a landscape designer and or work in landscape design, and every spring I just miss the smell, the smells of the soil and the mulch, and walking around the nurseries and seeing the new varieties of flowers that have come out, and it's wonderful. And I can see how there's many different things that you could explore with this flowers. Okay, so maybe and maybe even look at her, she's got red curly hair. Maybe even working with flowers opens your heart and brings blessings to others through your life purpose. So it could be as well that just being around flowers, taking some time to stop and smell the roses, right? As you kind of figure out and wait for that perfect moment or that perfect inspiration or that divine timing to send you in the direction that feels right. If you don't know right now where you're going or what you want to do. If you are in the middle of a career change or something, like maybe you just need to be spending some time in, it's summer, we're at the height of summer, and just enjoying, the bounty of, and the beauty of flowers. I've been hearing a lot of people talking about flowers too, lately, which is interesting. Yeah. Okay. And then at the bottom of the deck was practice. Polish your skills by practicing regularly. Okay. So whatever it is that brings you joy, if it does have to do with work and maybe it's not currently how you're getting paid, but it's something that you want to create and get paid for, then practice it, right? Like that's what I do on my little videos, and before I started for like a year, just practicing reading, and trusting, that if I say hear, I don't really, there's no like real booming voice or anything, but if I hear something, like to trust it, when the songs come out, just say it, just go with it, just right. And so we just have to kind of trust. It's interesting, she's all dressed in brown, and then she's got the green in the back, so I feel like this is very earthy. It may or may not be. Interesting, she's playing this little musical instrument. I don't know. Okay, so I put these back and move into your reading. Okay, so as a reminder, I do shuffle and clear the decks before I set my intentions and say my prayers. No, I'm not doing that. Okay, I'll just quickly look. All right. Looks like potentially juggling some options. Relationship issues, maybe a choice in relationships or legal matters potentially, but I'm not going to take that because it just kind of plopped out before I even asked. So what challenges are present for you right now? Yeah. There we go. Ooh, healing, good. Okay. Okay, healing at the bottom of the deck, healing and hope, right? Trusting, and remaining in that space of healing by knowing that you are in the flow of your destiny or your fate, or you're under the stars, the cosmos, right? You're not forgotten. You're in the flow. Whatever you're going through right now, remember, like divine timing. Okay, but you've been in a process, I think, moving through, maybe still there, of healing. Okay. Yeah. All right. So then you got the Magician card. Okay. Strength. And the Nine of Swords. So potential challenges right now. Potential challenges could be that you are needing to harness your inner strength, okay, to remind yourself that you are 100% capable, as the magician, as the alchemist, of creating, manifesting on earth anything that you want from it doesn't matter, right? If you're spiritually guided, or inspired, you know, see, he's got his wand, right, pointing up to the heavens, and he's like his own little divining rod or lightning rod down to manifesting it on earth, okay? And he can do that, but at the same time, we don't want to act in an impulsive way or in a reactive way, in between, right? In between these two energies, okay? There might be some concern or worries right now. What else do I see? Yeah, some inner conflict. Another choice card here. Work. What's going to be fulfilling? Heartbreak. Yeah. So it could be, it could be that you're trying to figure out, like, well, what do I want to do next? What is the right thing for me right now? And you may feel a little conflicted about that, or maybe you have felt conflicted, and I think it's more like you just have to remind yourself. You just have to stay strong, stay in your faith. Again, remember this whole thing about like divine timing, and you are in the flow, okay? I don't want to keep going so much about that, because I think you get it. All right. That's not the way I wanted to do that. Let's turn this around. What strengths or gifts are you bringing forward? Okay. So you may have an offer coming. Strengths or gifts that you're bringing forward. Okay, so Aquarius North Node, that would be sword element. The number 5 is about change, right? And it can change oftentimes, feels very challenging, and it can sometimes come with conflict. Sometimes a conflict, again, this is sword energy, so it can be mental or verbal conflict. It's not always a pleasant card, right? But we're looking at your strengths, so I feel like you have the ability to potentially rise above any conflict that presents itself, or needing to get into a conflict where there is a winner or a loser. Like you're more Okay, see that guy with his one pentacle, and he's trying to figure out, right? Like, what do I do with this? And it is like, he looks like he's just so, amazed by this. For what I'm thinking and feeling right now is you may see this change as an opportunity for to plant a seed to create something all new. I mean, there's choices, right? You don't know necessarily right now. You might be fantasizing. You're certainly capable and independent. You're certainly capable of whatever that is. I'll get a clarifier, okay? Since I'm just talking too much. Let me just. I mean, you're a visionary. Thank you. You are a visionary. So whatever just happened, if there was a conflict, if there was a change, oh yeah, this wanted to come out earlier. So did this. Oh my God, these were both trying to come out earlier when I was shuffling the Rider-Waite deck. If there was heartbreak, disappointment, and you recognize that you needed to leave something that was like okay, or it was okay but it wasn't really satisfying you anymore, whether this is in a relationship or well, if it was in a work environment, whatever it is, yeah, I think you're just not, I think you're staying above needing to blame or be a victim, and you're more you're sitting with like your intuition and seeing the bigger picture of kind of what this is all about. Okay. Which is wonderful for Aquarian North Node. Absolutely on track. Okay. Well, you know what? Oh yeah, no, that's right. What tendencies to leave behind? What tendencies for Aquarius North Node to leave behind? Tendencies for Aquarius North Node to leave behind. Tendencies for Aquarius North Node to leave behind. Okay. Doing it all, taking on the burden, taking on the struggle, all on your own, right? Resisting asking for help, having that sense of like pride that says, well, I can do it, I can do it on my own. The Nine of Cups is about self-fulfillment, but it can also be, if it's a tendency to leave behind, it can also be sort of like what is the word? It's just very egoic. It's just like, I don't know that I want to say self-righteous either, but kinda. I can't think of the word. Just look at the position that he's sitting in, okay? And this is a tendency to leave it behind, right? So this guy's like taking on the burden all by himself, and this guy is kind of like sitting here like, nope, I got it. Like, right? No. Aquarian North Node, you work with community, you develop friendships, you call on your people, that's the direction that you're headed. The Leo South Node would be kind of like, I don't need anyone's help, I've got this, like, right? Okay. Maybe the word will come to me later. What to focus on to contribute to the collective? What to focus on to contribute to the collective? Oh, there's the card again. Interesting, right? So again, we've got the Eight of Cups, and you got the Eight of Cups here, okay? With the Sun. The Sun is the ruler of Leo. And we have an eclipse here, okay? We are coming up on a full moon eclipse, a lunar eclipse here, July 4th or 5th. So let's, okay, and then we've got Saturn. Ugh. Okay, so we've got Saturn, which there's a lot of the Saturn, or I'm sorry, Capricorn, who's ruled by Saturn, and the Devil card. All right, with the Ace of Cups underneath that, and yeah, okay. All right, let me just take a look at this, okay? What you bring to the collective? What you contribute to the collective? Okay. Again, it could be that your contribution is in like you're walking away, right? You're walking away from something that isn't, it's good enough, right? It's okay, but it's not lighting you up. It's not bringing you joy. So you're leaving those cups and you're walking to your joy, to something that is fulfilling and beautiful. And it's kind of like you're showing your community, you're showing the collective, this is how you do it. Like, this is what matters. This is what's important, that we move, that we understand, that we move towards our bliss, that so if you've ever watched me before, I see this in two different ways. One, could you be moving away from a toxic situation or behavior? Toxic situation could be anything where you felt or believed that you were stuck or trapped by something that is shadowy sort of within yourself. So could be I can't walk away from this relationship because in my darkest of dark shadows, I don't believe that I'm worth more than that, um, or maybe because I think this person is able to provide me with like material things, even though I'm not happy or in love with this person. Like they've got, I don't know, they got, you know, the looks, or they got the money, or they got whatever, like you, and so you stay stuck in the shadow element, right? Or addiction, sex, drugs, rock and roll, it doesn't matter, whatever it is. So that's one thing. Like maybe you're walking away from this towards something healthier, right? And you're showing the collective, this is how you do it. Another way to interpret this might be that, and then there's healing, right? Then there comes, you know, the Holy Grail, right? My cup runneth over, healing, forgiveness, unconditional love, connection back to source, and understanding that I am love, right? And that therefore my cup floweth over, runneth over. Okay. Another possibility is that you remember we talked about Atlantis, right? And the money and the greed created the destruction of this civilization. Well, in Leo South Node, okay, which would be some of the shadow elements, that is in the shadow, okay? Greediness, dictatorship, authoritarianism, all the attention is on me. It's very narcissistic, okay? I'm just, look up narcissism, all right? That's the shadow side of Leo, okay? So that would be in the South Node, and the things that you are supposed to be breaking free from. So what you're bringing to the collective may be, once again, that as all of this is showing up in our society in every way, shape, or form right now, no, you're walking away from that. And you're bringing forth the positive aspects of your South Node, right? Which is leadership and joy and playfulness and childlike wonder, right? So that could be something, and that's very healing. And another potential could be that since this is the Devil card represents Capricorn, the master builder, the tough love daddy, right? That maybe you are moving forward to build something. Maybe there is something that you want to build, to continue to work on, you know, maybe that mystic sort of archetype there again, that I am willing to do this, I'm willing to walk away from something, I'm willing to do this work. Again, you're not going to do it on your own. I'm willing to do this work because I know it is transforming for me. I know that it is, and that is going to only give back to the people that are around me in my community. Okay? So this energy is, well, we just entered collectively new nodal axis, which would be for 18 months. But over the next 6 months, we've got like all kinds of stuff happening, and so yeah, you might find this energy within this reading really kind of part of your own transformation, throughout the next 6 months. But I feel like you are walking towards your inner sun, that thing that brings you happiness and joy and healing of that inner child, the wounding, the things that you've been through, whether from past lives or this life now. Okay, bam. What obstacles to be aware of? Sorry, I have this here. Obstacles to be aware of. Readings are going so long. Okay. Beware of fantasizing, okay, of being delusional or being too much up in your fantasies, right? Bottom of the deck. Okay. Wow. Like so much wand energy. So interesting. Okay, let me just add these. So this is 6, 3, 11, 11, 11 in the wands energy plus 2 of cups. All right. Obstacles to be aware of. All right. Got 3 of wands with 6 of wands with 2 of wands with 2 of cups. It looks to me like a potential obstacle is for you to be aware of what you are fantasizing or focusing on in terms of relationship, in terms of maybe an offer that is being given to you. Be careful of what you're manifesting. Be careful what you're putting out there. Be careful that you are okay, let me just take a couple seconds, okay? Obstacles. It could be another obstacle could be to be aware of is sort of waiting for the relationship that you want to just kind of show up because you're thinking about it, right? And yeah, I feel like you need to mean, again, it's just it's a general reading. There's a couple ways it can go. Be careful what you're manifesting and you're putting out there, but also be aware that you have to take action, right? You have to speak up. You have to uh, make an offer. You have to ground yourself, right? Aquarian energy. You have to ground yourself and take action steps towards whatever it is that you want to manifest. You can't just stay up in your head, right? You just can't stay, you can't do that. Well, that was fast. All right, that was clear. Oh, God. 3 of 1. Interesting. All right. So, again, clarifier. The devil, once again, an 8 of Wands. So be careful. Just be very clear in what it is that you're creating and in what, if offers are coming into you, or if you're if you're receiving messages from other people, that you really kind of understand that you really know who these people are, right? Don't get lost in fantasy. And again, another 3 of Wands. Okay, you got that here, and it's clarifying it here. Okay. So she's manifesting, or she's pulling that energy down, right, from the sun, and she's going to create it, and she knows and she trusts. Like, I'm bringing it in. I'm bringing in what it is that I want passionately, and I believe in it, right? And then underneath that is the Chariot card coming in very swiftly. So just be clear and be what's the word I want? Just be grounded, okay? How the collective needs you. Okay, can you see that? How the collective needs you. Yeah, okay. Friendships, community, right? Bottom of the deck. Yeah, collaborating, 3s. Okay? Working with others, collaborating. Taking time to kind of reflect. Let me see here. King of Wands. Leader. 4 Swords. Praying, meditating, patience. And then Knight of Swords. Okay, how does the collective need you, dear Aquarius North Node? Okay. You may feel somewhat restricted in that you might want to move more quickly into something. Um, and I think it is important for you, I think it is important to know that, again, when the time is right, after you've taken time out for yourself, to maybe you need to maybe getting a counselor, maybe going to counseling, talking with somebody, or maybe collaborating with, it just depends on what this is, for you in your story. This could be going to school, this could be learning, becoming an apprentice in something. But I think how the collective nature. I it seems to me, this card seems to be saying to me that we need you to understand that you are a leader. When it is time to move into action, you will know because you have taken time. Again, 2 4s. I mean, you've gotten so many duplicate numbers and duplicate cards. It's crazy. I think you will know, you will sense, because it's so synchronistic. It's so like the time, like that timing card, right? The it, like this is matching up with this, and you're just kind of sensing it. And when you sense it, you're able to bring whatever it is into the world, into your community, being with friends, um, working with others. Um, yeah, but you have to really get in touch with that sort of intuitive, divine, like a sense of that divine timing is here. And I don't know, I just feel like it's your time to be kind of a leader of sorts, right? I mean, you've got the sun and you've got the King of Wands here. Um, Strength, it's like the Leo South Node part of you. When you heal all of the shadow stuff from that Leo side, the all the stuff I already talked about, the narcissistic stuff, um, and maybe you already have. I'm not saying you're a narcissist, but when you're able to do that, I think you're just really able to be a passionate leader that can bring a sense of community, a sense of working together. Like we're all working together. Like you can bring that and joy into you know your world at large, your inner world, your you know closest circle of influence. You know. Okay, best possible outcome. Yeah. Need to take some time, change of perspective. Okay. King of Swords, air sign. Look at that butterfly up above his head, right? Sitting up in the clouds. He's a truth teller. He's a practical man, male, masculine energy. Doesn't have to be a man like gender, okay? He is just, fair. He's enlightened and wise. The fantasies become not so fantastical. They become possibilities or ingenious, inventive possibilities. There's a practicality to these visions. He can lay out those plans, right? Like a visionary. Was that the mystic? Was that the same as the mystic? Was the mystic a visionary? Again, it's just asking you just to take some time, maybe to get a change in perspective. Some enlightened change in perspective for this rebirth. Okay, that's pretty good. Aquarius North Node. Let's get you an oracle card, and then I gotta let my cat in. She's out there meow meowing. Oh no. Oh, I love Squirrel Spirit. Believe in yourself. Okay. Oh, are you kidding? Wowzers. I don't know. I think maybe you're the 6th person now. 6th. Wow. Wow, guys. You know, we are hardcore in a time where we need to be collaborating. This card, I can't even tell you how many times I've used this deck, not just in my readings that I do on YouTube, but I have shuffled. I have used these cards. I have done readings. This card keeps coming out on all of my YouTube readings, which tells me this is more global. This is more about the collective. This is a message that absolutely needs to be coming out to anyone and everyone who can see it. We need to work together. time to collaborate. Brand new, number one, new beginning, right? But the other cards that, so I'll read that for you because it just has to be here. Okay, the other cards that came out for you are, I love this, Squirrel Spirit, believe in yourself, right? Okay, Rabbit Spirit, now is a lucky time. Didn't we read something about auspicious timing? Was it in the Kairos? Okay, now is a lucky time. So believe in yourself and see the big picture. There you go. I feel like I said that earlier too. See the big picture, higher perspective, right? The giraffe's way up there and he's looking down. I've never pulled this card before, but so, geez. Well, let's do the two bookends, okay? The giraffe spirit, right? He's kind of like high up in the clouds, like this guy, like the King of Swords, which is your air element, and you're an air element, okay? Where's the book? All right, Ant Spirit, 1. Time to collaborate. When Ant Spirit comes to visit, it's to celebrate the benefits of working in partnership with others as part of a community or tribe. Spirit reminds you that to build your dream, you need to work with others, accept help, and trust in your most important partnership, the one you have with Spirit. There you go. Your intentions will come to fruition if you remain awake and focused on co-creating your reality with others and with Spirit. Remember that the world around you can easily seduce you if you don't have some sort of practice or discipline, like meditation, to keep you on track as you build the life you desire. Connecting with others and having accountability partners can be very helpful, as it's unlikely that everyone will fall asleep at the same time, right? The other message Ant Spirit holds is that you are now in an auspicious time to ask for help and receive it. Whether you need help assembling a team, finding a new tribe, or requesting assistance from others who are there for you, everything is working to support you right now. Yes. Do you really, protection message, do you really believe that you have to do everything yourself? Remember this card? Do you believe that somehow any help you get will be disappointing or not good enough? Perhaps it is time to address your issues of control and bias towards the negative. It doesn't matter where or why you came to be pessimistic or mistrustful. The fact that Ant Spirit is showing up now is a sign that you have an opportunity to heal and to relearn to trust that others will show up for you in a genuine way. Ant Spirit wants you to remember that your expectations and limiting beliefs are a vibrational offering that draws in the opposite of what you desire. So remember I said be careful what you are manifesting, creating. But it does look like you've been through a process of healing. That was at the bottom of the deck when we looked at your challenges, right? The healing and hope card. So hopefully you've been kind of working through and healing some of that. Spirit wants to help you and will send collaborative partners your way. It's time to see the universe as conscious and connected, loving and helpful, but you must participate in this activity of co-creation. Creating reality is not just about dreaming. If you are feeling orphaned from community, reach out and communicate. If you feel vulnerable, know that being present in your vulnerability can help you draw in someone who wants to assist you. Trust in your partnership with Spirit, and your outer conditions will start to reflect that. Then you will see the miracles waiting for you, including partners who appear ready to lend a hand. So remember, we're not up here in the clouds like doing our magical manifesting, right? You got to take action. You've got to speak up. You've got to make the first move or plant the first seed or something. Okay. So giraffe spirit, see the big picture. Oh, I just opened right up to it. Giraffes stretch upward to reach the treetops and look down from a high vantage point. When giraffe spirit appears, it is a sign to observe from a higher view. In all aspects of your life, it's time to stretch your neck out and broaden your view. Open your eyes to what others need or are experiencing and see the big picture you fit into. No matter how great your wisdom, knowledge, or experience, you don't want to overlook details and connections that will help you better understand yourself and your circumstances. So stretch yourself. Look beyond what catches your attention at eye level and know that not everything is as obvious as you might like it to be. Spirit will bestow upon you a new perspective that might make all the difference, right? So, okay. Are you sticking your neck, a protection message, are you sticking your neck out too far, reaching too high instead of looking around you to see conditions on the ground? Your devotion to co-creating something is admirable. Something new, is admirable. But giraffe spirit is showing up to remind you that you have to look at the whole picture, not just those tasty leaves at the top of the tree. Yeah. Perspective is necessary now, and that means checking in with what is going on around you and at your feet. Or remember, staying grounded as well as enlightened, or perhaps you are ruminating over the worries of the world instead of paying attention to what you can do right now, where you are, to bring about the changes you would like to see. Align with your highest good and know that while perspective is important, transformation begins where you are. Do not get so far up in the clouds thinking about all the big problems that you lose perspective and forget to do your part, however small it may be, to start enacting change, for transformation begins with you. Exactly. That's kind of like with the challenging stuff, right? Don't spin your wheels like you don't have to solve it all right now. Gather your strength, right? And just remember that you are. Believe in yourself. You have everything that you need to create what it is that you want. Okay? You can't stay up in the clouds too long. Okay, Aquarius North Node, be well. You matter. Your journey matters. Your healing matters. We need you. And thank you so much for being here. Okay, bye-bye.